What's going on, guys? It's Big Al with episode 6 of Throne Breaks. Today's episode is a good one. I have another mail day, which is always fun, but it's unique. It's not just sports cards. I had a buddy of mine, he hooked me up with some shirts, so I'm excited to unveil those and let you guys see what's in there. I also got a Chronicles UFC blaster box from Lids. They're selling cards at Lids now. Okay, Fanatics, we see you. And I also have another interview. This week is with Alex Tressler, aka Army ATC 22. And in the interview, we talk about how long he's been in the hobby, what breaking used to look like, and how far it's come. It's honestly crazy, some of the stories that he shared. Like people used to send check by mail to get into breaks. Nothing was it was crazy. You got to stick tuned for the interview, but it just some of the shares that he had were unbelievable, incredible, really, from where it's come. I think he's been doing it for like 16 years now, to where it's at now. He's also started to go to shows recently and be vendors everywhere. We talked about that as well. But I'm excited to get into the interview. Again, episode 6, Throne Breaks. What's up, everyone? I'm here with Alex Tressler, aka Army ATC 22. Thanks for being here, Alex. And why the nickname first off? I guess why Army ATC 22?
Well, Al, first off, thanks for having me on. I've been watching the last few episodes and been pretty entertaining. Seeing the whole different aspects of the hobby and everything else like that. So Army ATC has been my username in all platforms. If it's forums, YouTube, of course, Twitter, Instagram, everything. It's always been the same because of my background in the Army. So, of course, Army. ATC is air traffic control. That's why my logo that I created, I can get a little closer, is actually an air traffic control tower. I just recently made this logo and everything. And 22 has always been my lucky number. It has followed me around since I was a little kid. My number playing basketball, my number playing baseball, the number on my bus. It's so weird. It follows me around everywhere. It followed me around enough where I just retired after 22 years in the Army.
Wow.
In 2022.
Wow.
It's nuts.
Wow.
It's crazy how much coincidence that happened. So it's just, if you see Army ATC 22 anywhere online, it's me. I'm everywhere.
That's crazy. The 22 really does follow you, right? Were you an Emmett Smith guy or anything? Any professional athletes that wore 22 that made that come about?
No. So another aspect is, my favorite player growing up was Dan Marino. I'm a diehard Dolphins fan. So 13 and 22 have always been my lucky numbers. So realistically, when I get into randoms and stuff like that, there's only 10 numbers. I go with the number 4 because 2 plus 2 equals 4 and 1 plus 3 equals 4. It's nuts.
And that is how you math, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
That is how you math.
Yes.
All right. Well, man, you've been in the collecting game for a very long time. What got you into collecting, and I guess when did you start collecting?
I originally did start, like majority of individuals start when they were young. Me and my dad would be at a card show looking for the Frank Thomas rookie no name, his rookie card. And then for some reason it just stopped. I don't remember when. Since I got back into the industry, the hobby, I've tried to remember when did I stop collecting when I was a kid, and I just can't think of it. When I started growing, hair under my arms and like voice cracked or whatever, starting to go that route rather than, this. But so it was a big gap. Back in 2008, end of 2007, beginning of 2008, I went through a pretty bad divorce, and I told myself I needed to get a hobby, need to do something, get my mind off everything. And one of the guys that work with me had his son at work on a Friday in the Army. When we're not at war, we're not training and stuff. There's a lot of stuff that you can do back in the States with your family and stuff. Bring them to work and everything if nothing's really going on. And they were opening a box of, I believe, 2008 Topps Chrome. baseball.
Wow.
When they opened it up, they pulled an autograph, and I was like, I remember opening cards, but I don't remember autographs being in there. Did a little research, found out that there's a lot more to it nowadays, so that started me back up with it. So at the time frame, I was stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and close to Fort Bragg, North Carolina, is Wilmington, North Carolina, where Chris, aka Cards Infinity,
Mm-hmm.
who's on YouTube, has been on YouTube for a long time. I went down to his shop and checked it out. Got to meet him, one of the best individuals in the hobby and hobby shops that there is. A lot of people don't know he's the first person realistically to break online for individuals, started group breaks. He is technically the card father.
That's big. That's big.
Um, it is,
Yeah.
and he's still at his own little shop doing it day in and day out, and he's just a great individual.
Love
A
that.
lot of people in the hobby know who he is.
Love that.
So I got his advice and everything, and decided to order a few boxes. Found it was cheaper to order on eBay instead of through the shops and stuff. And after I did that, a few boxes came in. I was told about how much people kind of were not as honest on eBay. So, a case hit would come out of a case, and then they sell all the rest of their boxes on eBay, and you're probably not getting anything good. And so I was afraid. I was like, oh, I'm going to get duped, whatever like that. So I ordered one box of Topps 2008 Triple Threads Baseball. In that, they only get 2 hits. Now, it's 4 hits, 2 per mini box.
Sure.
But I got an auto of Jason Bay, old school Pirates player,
Jason Bay. Yep.
and the card that really got me hooked again was a 101 David Ortiz MLB logo patch with 2 nasty Red Sox logos on top of it.
Wow.
And that's what started it all.
Yeah.
It was incredible. That was before, it wasn't any filming, anything, just opening, and I had no clue what I had.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure I ended up selling that card to a diehard Red Sox fan,
Mm-hmm.
and I still have the picture of the day. I still have that picture. That's crazy.
That would bring, I think, anyone back into the back into the space for sure. Wow. So so you had a pause, just like all of us, right? I'm very similar to you, where I don't know what it was. I like the hair under the armpit, voice crack type of thing. That's probably about when I stopped as well. My story, really quick, is I had a pretty solid collection, and then my mom, my parents went and pawned it off, and I never saw it again. And so that hurt me so much that I was like, I'm not going to start over as like a 13-year-old, however old I was, right? And so I stepped out for a while, but I'm back in, just like you're back in. So we talked a lot about the Army, right? Obviously, you're an Army vet. When you and I spoke before, you said that there's a pretty big vet community in the industry. Do you kind of want to touch on that and how you're playing a role in that as well?
I've been around the world and back multiple times, stationed overseas and both deployments, Europe, all up and down, truthfully, the East Coast of the United States. And the hobby is a lot focused towards individuals that know sports, and the connection that you have with football, baseball, basketball, soccer, even tennis and, golf and all that stuff, it brings you closer to it. So a lot of individuals in the Army, I prefer, I'm more of the Army, not the other services, but I've been around a lot of other services that have collectors and stuff. A lot of us enjoy playing those sports, or we have when we were in high school or prior to that and everything. So the same aspect that I had, uh, a lot of individuals had a gap, and just one little spark of their dad, the dad with their kids starting it over again, it just grows. Um, in multiple locations overseas, including deployments, especially because I was now back in the hobby pretty big. Uh, I would bring it up. It's kind of one of those things. I don't know. A lot of people are the same way. It's one of those things you're kind of ashamed to talk about because you're dealing with it, but at the same time, you enjoy it so much.
Mm-hmm.
I think the analogy is, it's like riding a moped. It's fun to ride, but You don't want anyone to see you on it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Um, so myself, as much as I enjoy it and everything, I would bring it up a little bit, talk about, we're talking about a game that just happened or whatever, it's just like, oh, I've seen, I have a few of his cards and stuff. Oh, you collect sports cards? I collect sports cards. And it just grows. There's so many people out there. I think they're more afraid of the masculinity of not being a nerd
Mm-hmm.
aspect of it, right? And they're just out there hiding. But being in the area that I am now in Richmond, Virginia, close to Norfolk and the Navy area and everything around here, there is a huge presence at all the shows and stuff that I'm at and everything that they're everywhere. When it comes time to Veterans Day and people are coming out and giving back to vets, in different platforms and stuff. You don't know that many individuals actually, collect cards. It's pretty incredible.
I love I love the idea of us kind of hiding behind, especially like in the army, right? It's very masculine, right? It's very I'm tough. I'm defending. I'm everything that the army embodies is the opposite of, hey, I collect sports cards. It's kind of the geeky, the nerdy side, which it's true.
Yeah.
I think we are ashamed is maybe the right word for sure, because at some of my jobs, I'm like, do I want to bring up that I collect cards to this person? No, I'm gonna stay cool, right?
It's cool though whenever, one sells for thousands of dollars.
Very true, and it's
That's
also equally cool when the other person you say it to says they do as well. Then it's almost like an instant,
yes.
like, whoa, no way, yeah. So you mentioned you're in Virginia. You are a show vendor. I've seen you go to plenty of shows recently. What is the landscape looking like for you now? How has it changed from past shows that you've done? What are you thinking for future shows? All that stuff.
So I just started setting up at shows this year. So at the end of last year, I went to a lot more shows around here and everything, and I was just like, I have 10 years worth of group breaks, trading, and everything else just sitting in my closet, going with me from Alabama to Germany to New York to North Carolina, following me everywhere, just piling up and piling up. And there's a lot of people that are doing the same thing as I am,
Mhm.
or they're just not they're not traveling. They don't know what to do with their stuff.
Yep.
Went to the shows. I would bring a couple shoe boxes, 2 rows with me full of stuff. And one vendor, when I got there, he's just like, you have more of this type of stuff? I mean, this is, like I said, a decade worth of autos, jerseys, numbered cards, a whole bunch of stuff that I know that are still good. And he's just like, if you have, a plethora of this stuff, you should be setting up here yourself. So I decided, okay, for Christmas last year, I had told my parents, they asked me, what do you want for Christmas? I was like, a couple showcases, give me a couple display cases, and it's gone from there. And it's been a wild ride. It's been extremely an interesting seeing from January. So this has been a complete full year now, starting in January I had a lot. My value boxes were being picked through. People would come around the room 4 or 5 times looking through. I mean, because when you're going through and you see, 2010, 2011, 12, 13, 14 type of products
Hmm.
all in there that most people, their value boxes are all like 2020 and newer these days, with actually game used memorabilia, not the event used or that type of stuff. It was a fast go from the beginning, and it's been hard trying to keep up with that. But I do a lot of the shows around here in the Virginia. Raleigh, North Carolina is like the farthest south I've been, just a couple weeks ago, and all the way up to Chantilly, and which is one of the biggest. Chantilly is the biggest show that I've set up at.
Okay.
Being one of the bigger ones across the country.
Yeah.
I have, I go to the National. I bring a cut case with me, talk to the individuals that I know there and stuff, and seeing people that I've hung out with. But before I started actually setting up as a vendor, for the past few years, I've been selling everything on eBay, of course, and Facebook Marketplace, or not Marketplace, but more groups is one of the best places to sell stuff. And now, Whatnot coming around is another great platform that hopefully this following year I'm going to get more and more involved with it and be on there. But
Ta-
the question, like, going back to your question, how's it looking and everything? Everyone says, right now the market's down, and I say it's not. I just say the people that say the market's down might not have what people are looking for.
Yeah,
You got to know your market. You got to know your market you're at, where you're at. You got to know the individuals. If you have a showcase that has only like $1,000 cards, $500 cards, expensive taste, and you're in an area where it's all middle class or lower people probably aren't going to spend their whole paycheck just on one card right now.
correct.
But if you have a, a nice plethora of $5 to $100 cards, all someone's willing to come over and spend 20, 40, $50 on, random cards compared to that one big one. A lot more. That's what I'm seeing. So I gear my showcases. I do have a few bigger cards, but it is a lot in that range of 20 to, 200,
Yep.
just, and those are the ones that move a lot. Besides the value boxes, that's just pure, just people sitting there digging, 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 looking for their PC teams, looking for their PC players.
Hmm.
Um, but
No,
it's been good.
yeah, I get. I think the range of 20 to you're actually. I've heard a few people say that recently to me of the range of even as low as like $10 if you want to start at $10, but like $10 to $200 right now is kind of the sweet spot for cells at least in the current market as of Friday, December 16th, 4:56 p.m. Pacific time. That is what I'm hearing. That's what you said, and I think it's accurate. You shared a clip with me. So you've been doing group breaks for quite some time. I don't know if you're still doing them or not. Um, but you shared a clip with me that's what, 14 years old, I think it was, 13, 14 years old.
Yeah, 2009, I believe.
Okay, so 13 years old. Talk to me about we're gonna pull up that clip for sure when we play this. So talk to me about what the heck you were doing there and how that kind of evolved from the beginning for you.
So, when I started, finding that there was a community on YouTube, there's a lot of individuals in the card community have no clue, honestly, that there's communities without. So I've started in the card community on YouTube, which then expanded in forums, Facebook, um, and now it's even gone farther to Instagram, TikTok, whatnot. All these communities of dealing with cards have honestly have no clue that there's a whole nother community in another platform. The YouTube community of cards, a lot of people tend to go towards the main influencers, Card Collector 2, Roth Cards, Santiago Sports. A lot of those individuals that have a lot mojo, a lot of those individuals that, get a lot of views. They're all over the place. But there's all the little people, I call myself a little person.
Yeah.
Um, that we do mail days every day, showing what the life of an average card collector is, not someone that's flying around the country going to shows and everything like that. I'm starting to possibly branch off more in that, but so back in 2008, 2009, when I saw that the group breaks were happening, just little by little, I was like, oh, okay, I want to do this. Now this is the evolution of group breaks.
Yeah.
The evolution of group breaks back then was I posted a video on YouTube saying I got this this box coming, this box coming, this box coming at this cost. We would do group breaks at cost. Now you got to think we were all collectors, not so much as a business
Yep.
trying to make money.
Yep.
We just wanted to open the products for as cheap as possible. So it'd be a random team break. If it's $1,000 in cost, it was split up exactly. What it wouldn't be back then, it would be like only a couple hundred. Split up exactly between everyone. Shipping was written down, $3 shipping. Supplies, add another 50 cents for everyone. If you didn't get a hit, your shipping was refunded back to you. And you'd sign up on the YouTube page, on the YouTube actual video. So the PayPal link or wherever you'd pay would go out to them. They'd pay. And then the next day, once it's all paid, random.org. You're waiting for the video for random.org. The big key to all this, none of it was live. It was all pre recorded, trustworthy. Everyone was trustworthy.
Wow.
There was it eventually evolved to having to be live because of the people that came. It came out there was a lot of scams with random.org. That's why they have the verified service now. It all stemmed from this. So you'd wait for the video, the random.org would come up, you'd see what team you have, and then the next video you're waiting for is the break. It's like you were waiting all day anticipating, and you'd watch a YouTube video of your break. Um, I still do that to this day, for Blez and Leighton and all those other individuals that, still do breaks on YouTube, even Chris at Cards Infinity. And like, I'll get into a break and buy into a team or whatever, and then I'll go back and watch it later, at any
Sure.
time.
Yeah.
Not watch it live. So my very first, I've already done a couple football breaks at the time, but my very first NBA break, I've been talking to people online and they're telling me, they're like, okay, why don't you do a break in uniform? Army ATC, let's do it in uniform, let's do it big. And I was like, okay. So I decided I was going to do it. So if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it big. So it was a basketball break. So in that break, I
Yeah.
believe there was an SP Threads, I forget what another basketball, and then a box of Exquisite basketball. This was Kevin Durant's rookie year basketball Exquisite.
What a
I got
box.
that
What a
box actually from, yeah, I got that box actually from Chris from Cards Infinity. So I'm opening the box on camera. Again, we've already done the random, and back then, some people were trustworthy and they were sending cash in the mail, they were sending whatever,
wow.
and you had to wait for it and everything.
Wow.
And yeah, just it's nuts. And opening the box, opening Exquisite, and what everyone, if they've known me in the card collecting community, I think the channel Card Porn actually has shown that clip also that you're going to show.
Mm-hmm.
And when they started their account up, it was one of the first clips. It's the John Stockton Steve Nash dual logo man 101 auto.
Yes.
As you can tell in the video, I got really excited because I knew what I had was big.
Yep.
Yeah,
It was a
it was quite an
stellar
experience.
reaction. Stellar reaction for sure.
So
it's gonna be going from seeing you on screen here to that clip. People are gonna be like, "Wow, what a evolved, changed world and man in this interview."
Yes, as you can tell, this is 22 years in the making of having to shave every day turn to not having to shave every day, and eating a lot more, drinking a lot of beer.
Do you have 2 or 3 of your favorite PC pieces nearby you, with you?
I do.
Okay.
Thank you for the heads up. I decided to grab some out of my cases and stuff and bring them down.
Cool.
So being an Army guy, right? If anyone's following me on social media, you've seen that there's been multiple things that I'm going after. So one of them is the 2021 Rainbow of Pat Tillman. Let's see if you can see it good here. So this one that I have is the actual green camo out of 15. I believe
Whoa.
it's the best parallel.
Whoa.
Period.
Green camo for Tillman? Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's the best. I traded for this card at Chantilly this year. Traded pretty heavily for it because this card doesn't show up. I have currently, I don't know if you know this, but 2021 Prism has about, I think, 59 different parallels. I can't, don't quote me on that. It's a high number.
It's a lot.
And I have about 30 of them. That's every retail type one, all going all the way from just the regular basic base all the way to the black 101.
Right.
I know I'll never have the rainbow because the 101 isn't in a private collection. Who's also an Army vet that he spent a lot of money when it got pulled. But I'm trying to get as much as possible, and I'm about, I think, 22 away. That's including that 101. So I've acquired a good bit.
That's awesome.
So that one, bringing the green camo, I think it's one of the best ones in the set anyway.
Yeah, that's really cool.
The other one, the main Tillman that I love is the Downtown. So I do have a copy of the Downtown. It's just beautiful with the eagle in the background.
Yep.
And I don't know if you ever heard of the company Slab Frame.
No, I have not.
So they make a frame, and you put slabs, or you can put actually magnetics, and they'll make the background off of the player. So I'm going to get one made with Tillman, with this going to be easily, so I can put it up on the wall.
That's
It's a good way to show off cards, in a different aspect than just sitting on a stand or whatever like
yeah,
that.
that's awesome.
It actually goes into the frame, and if you look them up, that's pretty awesome.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna look them up.
But lastly, so I brought three. Back in 2010, uh, I got into a lot of baseball and stuff because one of my friends that I grew up with, played baseball with, actually got drafted by the Mets.
Nice.
Got drafted by the Mets, and I believe in 2006 or 2007.
Okay.
I think in 2007, Bowman Chrome is his Bowman first card, which I have every one of them except for the 101 Super. It's never surfaced. But in 2010, he actually got called up to the Mets, and so he ended up having a rookie card.
That's cool.
And in Finest, they had letter patch autos that they had for all the players. So my good buddy is his name was Toby Stoner, played for the Mets, and I have his 1-of-1 booklet
Yo.
from 2010, a Finest baseball. So every one of these letters are actually signed by him.
Wow.
And then it is a 1-of-1.
Wow. I think
so
that's the coolest PC piece I've had so far, I would say, on the show. That's
yep,
awesome.
it's with growing up with him
Yep.
and everything, and great friend of the family. I've got almost every card that has been created for him. In Finest that year, they had just the regular, just one card, S, TOE, they had a whole bunch of different parallels. And I have his name in every parallel
That's cool.
also. So I literally can make his name over and over. And then the 101, this booklet. He was in a whole bunch of different products that year. So he just had multiple different things. And it was great to actually, that popped up on eBay, and I had to get it.
Of course.
It was an incredible piece.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Do you think he's ever? Does he have some of his own cards? I'm assuming yes.
He does.
Okay.
He has a few of the first ones, and he doesn't have a lot. He's jealous of what I have, and I said, if I ever find doubles, I have like the orange Bowman Chrome out of 25. I have like 10 of them.
Sure.
All the lower colored ones that when they pop up, I try to grab them as much as possible. I only found one red out of 5, and then of course the Superfractor never popped up. So it's like that elusive Evan Lagoria, Superfractor that never popped up anywhere. But it's a piece that it's. I know him personally, so I was like, I have to pick it up.
That is, yeah. Like I said, that takes the cake for PC pieces so far, with the story and everything attached to it. That's really cool. Well, dude, I thank you for joining me, and you left out Thrown Breaks in the massive or small community. I don't know where I would probably be. I'd be small times 1,000. I'd be well down the list for sure.
Well, the thing is we're all small.
Yeah.
We're all
correct
cogs that feed that thing. And then going back to what we were talking about, the card shows. One thing a lot of people don't understand. Everyone hears about the National, Chantilly, Dallas, the Mint Collective, which possibly might be coming out there for. I haven't really
hopefully
put down on that yet.
Hopefully.
And all those bigger shows. People don't realize the smaller shows at your town that has like 100 tables, 150 tables, they all feed towards the bigger shows.
Yep.
If these little shows aren't happening, the bigger shows aren't going to happen, because the product's not getting out there, the singles aren't getting out there as much as possible, and individuals aren't actually being in the hobby. You can only be in the hobby so much online. If you're out, talking with individuals and stuff. So I always say it's like the river system. All the smaller rivers lead to the bigger ones, the Potomac, the Mississippi, all those other ones. The smaller rivers mean, and that's what all these little smaller shows are. So anyone, if you have shows in the area, go to them. You don't have to buy anything. Walk them, see them, bring some of your stuff there. A lot of dealers are trying to buy. They need inventory. and just be prepared to do some talking. You don't have to sell anything. That's how I am. I enjoy educating and talking to individuals. I can go the whole show not sell one thing and have the best time of my life because I'm sitting there talking the whole time.
Yeah, well, like you said, just walking the show too. Like if you have never been to a show before and you're watching this and you're thinking about going to a first show in your community or your town, just do it. You don't have to buy a thing. You don't have to sell a thing. You can go see some cool cards that you probably would never have seen if you didn't go. It's worth the trip. If you've never done it before, do it. You'll get hooked. You'll get hooked.
You do.
Man, I really want to thank Alex, aka Army ATC 22, for his time, his wisdom, just hanging out. The conversation was fun. Had some good on-air conversation that you heard. Had some good off-air conversation that you didn't hear. But the entire time was enjoyable. And again, I thank Alex for his time. As I mentioned before in the intro, we do have another mail day, which is usually my favorite part of the episode. Aside from the guest interviews, aside from the intro, aside from the animation intro, aside from the editing that our producer Nick does, this is usually my favorite part of the episode. So I guess I like all parts of the episode. Anyways, let's get right into it. Like I said, something different than cards. We'll start off with that. Then I have this UFC Chronicles blaster that I got from Lids. I was selfish. I was shopping for Christmas for a couple people, and I saw them and was like, all right, yes, I'll take it. How much? And they gave me the price, and I said, yeah, okay. All right. We'll save the white one for last. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the homie. Instagram is Mean Bean Game 24. You see me wear a couple Kobe Bryant shirts. He made those for me. And now he made me Throne Breaks t-shirts. I got 3 of them. One for Lovely, if you know her in the industry, aka Jessica. One for Gregulate 702, or Greg. He's hopefully going to be a partner in some stuff upcoming. And then one for me, Throne Breaks shirts. They're pretty freaking sick. And honestly, seeing them in person, it's clean. It is clean. Hell yeah. Again, shout out Pablo, aka Mean Bean Game 24. He does shirt designs. They do all sorts of stuff, honestly. Look at this one. Hang on. Look at this one. Mamba Mentality. Oh, dude, come on. Bruce Lee, Kobe. Man, I want to pull this one out. This is a purchase for myself. It is a very, very cool shirt. Caught him on a holiday special. Look at this thing. Look in the bottom right corner. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I gotta open it up. How sick is that? Man, I need a mat. I think I need a mat of that. Like just opening cards on it? Yeah, that might be a play. That might be a play, Pablo. That might be a play, Pablo. Mean Bean. So freaking cool. Thank you, Mean. You know I appreciate you. I finally opened them. I've been waiting to record it to open. Man, that is sick. That is sick. Hey, Mean. Respect, my guy. Respect. Thank you. We're going to the Chronicles. UFC Blaster. Not really expecting too much out of this, right? I think I paid $25 at Lids. It's a solid deal. I just haven't ripped something for myself in quite some time. So I figured, why the heck not? Just $25. Small little Christmas gift to myself. I love the UFC. I've already had a couple guys on here that know UFC pretty well. Obviously, Beantown Breaker, if you saw that episode. If not, it's episode 3. You can find it. Habib. How about a Habib Nurmagomedov? Elite. Holly Holm, Luminance, Bantamweight. Amanda the Lioness Nunez, Crown. Adrian Yanez, Adrian. Oh, Adrian. Next pack. Rafael Fazeev. Michael Chandler Recon. Anderson Silva Legacy. McGregor. Conor McGregor Origins. Ngannou. Francis. That's sick. Black of Brandon Moreno. Glover Teixeira. McGregor. Prestige. Another Conor. What's up with Conor these days, guys? Is he gonna fight in the octagon again? Yes or no? Is he okay mentally? What's going on with him? Casey O'Neill, rookie. Black, it's John Bones Jones. Ian Gary, welterweight rookie. Thug Rose, prestige. And an Usman Spectra. Okay. I'd like to get something nice out of these last two. I did buy a Chronicles Blaster UFC last year. And I got a Valentina Shevchenko auto out of it, which was sick, numbered auto. So hopefully the Chronicles Blaster luck stays. Hamzat Chronicles, that's gold or orange foil. Nice. Brock Lesnar XR. Valentina McGregor again. A lot of McGregor. Lots and lots of McGregor. Last pack. Give me something good. Give us something nice. Come on, pack. Give us something nice. Any backwards cards? There might be a backwards cards or just legacy. XR, it's Anderson Silva. It was just a legacy. Chuck Liddell, Iceman, Hamzat Origins. Sean O'Malley, Absolute. Not the greatest box. But I got to open something for myself. That's always fun. I got to sleeve and top load some of these. Some of these won't even leave the Chronicles Blaster box. I'm going to put them back in right now. But again, that shirt, that Kobe shirt and the Throne Break shirts, those were sick. I really do appreciate you, Mean Bean. I'm going to flash them here one more again. One more again for the big camera. Look at this. Look at this. You might see me in the next episode, a future episode with this shirt on. That is just too cool. That is just too cool. But today, bro, I said, how true to the size do these things run? He said, you know, Big Al, they run fairly true to size. I said, all right. Well, then I guess let me get a 2XL. That looks like it'll fit me. But I'm almost 3XL these days, boys. But not for long. Back in the gym, I'm gonna go pimp. Throne Break shirts. As always, don't forget how awesome you are. I won't forget how awesome you are. Take it easy. Until next episode, this was episode 6 of Throne Breaks. Peace.